But what it's doing is his income is allowing him to keep this balance low, which is keeping his interest charges low, which is allowing him to have more available to come over here and chunk this off. So how long is it going to take him to finish paying off this upgrade? Well, if we take his income, 9,800, and we subtract out his expenses, 6,800, and then we take the interest on an average, let's say it's 200, 2,800 a month is going to pay off this line of credit. He only owes 11,918 divided by 2,800. So in 4.5 more months, really not even 4.5 months, he's going to have this upgrade loan paid off. But why is it going to be more like 3 months? Because he's still making the $762 payment per month if he wants to. When he's doing these chunks into that account, it satisfies this monthly payment too, unless he's doing it onto the principal only. And if he is, then he would have to keep making the 762. But regardless, in 4 months here, and he's already paid 3. So 7 months, he paid off $23,817 in 7 months. Do you all want to know how much time he had left on this upgrade? Do you want to know? Well, we could just take it and do 23,817 divided by his payment, which is 762. Well, that tells us, okay, that's 31.25 months. So he has right above 31 months left. No. He just got this. In November. So he's been paying on it, what, about 6 months? And it was a 60-month loan. Okay. So you got to think that just because you're dividing it out, that's not what's happening here. You don't just take your payment and divide it out. You take your payment times how many months you have left. So if it's a 60-month loan, he's paid 6 months already. Let's just do the math. So 60 minus 6 is 54 times 762, $41,148. That's what he was going to pay when you calculate the interest, which is at 23.08% on an amortization schedule. And he did nothing but pay it off in 7 months just using a line of credit. You have to understand how these lines of credit work. So in 7 months, when he's paid off this upgrade loan, he can now move on to the next loan, do the same thing, but he's gained the $762 in cash flow. So let's see, that took us 7 months to pay that off. Let's keep moving on here. So he's paid off the credit cards and he's paid off the upgrade in 7 months. So let's see what's next. All right, we can erase all this. Man, this is a mess, isn't it? Okay, so this payment's gone, which means that his $73.05 that he was paying in monthly expenses, minus the $500 he paid off in the credit cards, minus the $762 when he paid off this loan, means that his new expenses are $6,043. So $6,000, I'm gonna write it small, $6,043. And then his cash flow has changed as well. So we'll erase all of this off and we'll start again. So 7 months is over. He's working down the line of credit. It's going to be a quick payoff because he's really moving quickly here. But let's start with our next chunk, which is going to be onto this personal loan. Okay, so let's imagine that I'm just going to add 15,000 for fun. And let's just act like that we are going to just pay $10,000 onto this personal loan number 2. And we're going to chunk it down, meaning that this balance will now be 13,704. And now he's going to have a balance here of 13,704. But you know what? I'm going to give us lots of room for error in case I made a mistake with that last. And let's just act like that we're taking 15,000 and starting all over again. Because the point is I want to show you that it doesn't matter how much your interest rate usually is on these lines. Remember, we're calculating at an 18%, which the average is about 12% right now. So you've got a high interest rate, and I'm going to act like he had, some things happen that he had to pay for that he wasn't expecting. And so we're just going to say he applied 10,000 to this personal loan here. But then we're going to give him $5,000. Yeah. We're going to give him $5,000, and maybe he went on vacation. Maybe he bought a new engine for a car. I don't know. So the point is we're starting at 15,000 again. Here we go. So his income is going to go in 9,800 for income 1, 5,200. All right, now let's take out his new expenses. This includes his rent. This includes the payments that are still available to be, or still need to be made here. It includes his electric, his food, his car insurance, all the stuff, tithing, whatever you do in a month. So he is at 11,243, and then we've got to charge the interest. We're going to take the interest, which is 18% on 15,000, which is 225 again. Okay, now we're going to bring in for month 2. His income goes in again, so 11,468, $1,668. All right, now we're going to add his expenses in, but you know what we could do?